I'm gonna be honest, setting goals is easy, but sticking to them is where I've failed massively year after year. If you're anything like me, you know the drill. You set a goal, you start strong, and then life happens. But next year, I'm doing things differently. I swear I'm doing things differently. I'm not just saying that. These aren't the usual write it down and manifest it tips. These are real, actionable things I'm gonna be doing to reach my goals next year, no matter what. I promise that the first one is the only one that's kind of the like woo woo type of stuff, and that is reverse engineering the finish line. Before you write the goal down, start with the outcome you wanna see. Visualize exactly what it looks like, how your life, business, mindset will change once you achieve this goal. If you're into journaling, you can journal on what future me, like future you, would thank you for doing today. And that's an exercise you're gonna have to do from time to time. Maybe set a reminder once a month, just journal on that. What would future you be proud to have done that got her closer to her goal? The second one you're gonna have to promise me you're gonna do, because I promise that I'm gonna do, and that is treating my goal as a client project. When I take on client work, I have milestones, accountability, deadlines, deliverables, but I don't do that for my own business, my own goals, whether that's personal or professional. For me, my goals, like the ones that I really want to focus on 2025, they're all professional. I really want to, I'm not going to say I want to hustle. I don't believe in hustle culture, but I definitely want to work more intentionally. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to create a project plan for our goal. We're going to set clear deadlines, milestones, and treat it with the same importance as paid work. That's very important. Use whatever you use to track client projects. Use that for yourself. So for me, that's Notion. I have my clients, they all have client portals in my Notion account. So I'm going to create a page for myself as if I were my own client. I have been guilty in the past of setting more goals than I can handle. I realize I'm not the type of person who can juggle a million things at the same time and do them all well. I'm not really a multitask type of person. So next year, I'm focusing on 3 goals maximum. So that's tip number 3 for you. Set fewer. They can be bigger, but set fewer goals for yourself. This is how I know that I'm going to be able to channel all my energy into these 3 areas, and I'm not going to spread myself thin. The fourth one is one that I really like because I've been doing it for a while and it's really working for me, and that is anchoring your goals to your daily habits. So you're not going to think of your goal in isolation anymore. You're going to connect it to a habit that it's already, part of your day. It's almost like a reward system, but I'm going to talk about reward system in a second. To give you an example, if your goal is to build an audience and you have, I don't know, coffee every morning, you're going to attach it to your coffee routine. I don't care if you need your coffee. You're going to schedule a piece of content or create content for an hour or engage with your audience before you have your coffee. This is how we build systems and make the stuff that we want to be doing every day a habit. Now on to the next one, and I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this. Do not rely on your friends and family. Or at least don't just rely on your friends and family. Find people that understand what you do, that are on the same path as you, that can support you in this journey, because if you're a freelancer like me, it can get pretty lonely and loneliness can get in your head. I also know that big accountability groups or big communities don't work for me. So, just find 3, 4 people that you can count on, people that maybe you already have a connection to, but that believe in the same stuff that you do. And not that your family don't believe in you or your friends. It's just that if they're not building a business, if they are not into content creation, whatever it is that you want to do, they're not going to understand the sacrifices that you have to make that work. I really want to build a community next year. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, you should follow me because I will announce it when it's ready. And my idea with my community is exactly that, just creating smaller groups inside the community so people really get to know like their own group, but they can still interact with other people. So I'll make sure to let you know on my Instagram whenever that's ready. If you're a visual person like me, you will want to make your progress tangible. There are goals that just feel really hard to track. And for me, creating a visual way to track them is the best. And that can be a progress bar, a habit tracker, a jar where you add something like coins or pebbles or whatever it is, as long as you can quantify your progress. And one thing that I'm definitely going to be doing relating to this is just creating kind of a success log where I write every single day something that I did that brought me closer to my goal. Number 7 is really fun. I haven't started that yet, but I really want to start. I think I'm going to wait until January just because I don't think I'm going to be working that much for the rest of the month. month, but I want to gamify the process. I'm kind of a competitive person and I love a challenge. So I thought, why not give myself points for each task that brings me closer to my goal, or like for a streak that I'm maintaining, or a milestone that I reach, and then use these points to reward myself with something meaningful and bigger than just, I don't know, a coffee from a fancy coffee place. And as much as I want to go into the new year with the mentality that there's only one plan that I can follow, this has to happen, it's all or nothing, I know that I need to build pivot points into my plan. Pivoting does not mean failure. It doesn't mean that you give up on your goal. It just means adjusting it so you get to where you want to go, like guaranteed. So having those checking moments where, you reassess, you kind of see what's working, what's not, what you can change, that's huge. And that can happen once a month, once every 2 months, once every quarter. For me, it's definitely going to be once a month just because I have a lot of time to dedicate right now. And I know that I'm going to see results much faster than if I only had like a couple of hours a week to dedicate to what I want to achieve. So every 30 days, I should be seeing some major results. Otherwise, it's time to adjust something. So by the end of next year, I can say I did it. The next one relates a lot to tip number 2, and that is scheduling sacred time for your goals. You're going to set non-negotiable time blocks to work on your goals, no matter how busy life gets. For me, for example, it can be on Mondays and Thursdays from 9 to 11 a.m. I'm going to work on Instagram content. No exceptions, that has to happen. And I'm going to add that to my Google Calendar. I'm going to set myself as busy so people cannot schedule calls with me. And I'm going to treat it with the same importance as a meeting with a client. And because this is the season to be grateful, and because being grateful really does make a difference, you're going to focus on the person you're becoming, on the experiences you're acquiring, on the skills you're learning, and not just the goal. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that it's not about hitting the milestones, hitting the goals, because it absolutely is. But I really want you to think about everything you're building along the way and let that kind of motivate you more than the finish line itself. If you're like me and you have this history of abandoning goals halfway through them, I hope this list will inspire you to try again, because this time we're doing it differently and we're doing it together. Let me know in the comments what's your biggest goal for next year and what's one thing that you're absolutely gonna do to reach it. And don't forget to keep an eye on my Instagram for updates.